Oh my goodness, I'm back. I think. Maybe. Possibly. Hello. Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? Well, no. Can you see the action now? That one gets through. Hit by Strong as another 2 runs come in. As Nova Scotia, we're still in the top of the second inning here, where we were when we lost the internet connection. Hopefully we've got it back.
Number 14, Riley Johnston.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
No matter what 7, 8, we like
12.
Oh, was there an order taken? Yes.
12. Okay.
You're very kind to do it if you would.
I think we are connected. I hope we are connected. I apologize for the technical issues that we've been having. If I had any control over those technical issues, they wouldn't be technical issues. But we are back, I think, I hope.
And the water would be super.
I am very, very, very sorry that we have been having these issues. And again, so to bring you up to speed, here in the top of the 10th innings, or top of the second inning so far, Nova Scotia has scored 10 runs in this inning. The score is now, why is that not posting? Scoreboard properties. Why is, okay, the scoreboard for some reason is now not showing up on my screen.
11.
11 this inning now. Okay, I must have missed one somewhere along the way. Oh, there's the one that I missed.
Wow.
I've been so busy dealing with technical issues, I missed a run. That will happen. So I know it's not showing up on your screen. I don't know why it's not showing up on your screen, but the scoreboard should show 13-2. I think I got it now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 2 RBI there. Okay. Everything. RBI there. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. And we have a strikeout to finally end the top of the second. There were 11 runs in that inning to make the score
5 hits. Any errors?
5 hits overall.
Pitch count, guys. Thank you.
And 2 runners left on base. So the score after 1.5 is
Stats after
13-1.
the top of the second
in
inning.
favor
11 runs
of
in
Nova
on
Scotia.
5 hits, no errors. Pitch count total stands now at 22.
So I seem to be reconnected again.
The fiber locked up. So we
Okay. For some reason, the scoreboard information is not showing up on the screen right now.
Get your duds in order, cause we're bound across the water. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. Come get your duds in order, cause we're bound to leave tomorrow. Heave away, me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, me jolly boys, we're all bound away.
Scoreboard got a race.
I wrote me love a letter, I was on the Jenny Lynn. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. I wrote me love a letter and I signed it with a ring. Heave away, me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. And now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away.
right, so welcome back here. We're getting ready for the bottom of the second inning. Batting for Prince Edward Island, it is their right fielder, Jessica Smith.
Number 21, Jessica Smith.
Smith, yesterday.
I got 2 feet. I can walk.
Smith yesterday did not play according to what I've got on my sheet in front of me. Smith is... that's not the right team. There we go. Smith from Kentville, another one of the Nova Scotia players helping out here. As we're into the bottom of the second, again the score now 13-1 in favor of Nova Scotia. Quick update what's going on in the other game. They're in the top of the fifth there. Newfoundland leads New Brunswick 6-3. And there's a strike from Nova Scotia's pitcher, Tamika Stevens, still out there on the mound. For Prince Edward Island, they've gone through a couple of different pitchers. Crowley was the starter. Mullen came in and pitched 2/3 of an inning. And now Claire Keogh is the current pitcher. There's a pitch fouled off by Smith. And that brings us to a count of 2-2, I do believe. See if I can get confirmation on that. No, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. There we go. So again, I do apologize for the technical issues that we've been having. That one comes in inside. And the count now has run full on Smith. So I was told by our technician here at the field that the fiber basically locked up on us, and so nothing I could have done about that in any way, shape, or form. That one's fouled off to keep the count 3-2. But we're back, we're here, and hopefully, knock on wood, we don't have to deal with that issue. Again, there's a strikeout pitch for Stevens. Her third strikeout of the morning already on the mound. And that'll bring up Lily Atkins.
Coming to the plate for Team Prince Edward Island, number 51, Lily Atkins.
Atkins yesterday went 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice. Atkins from Stratford, PEI. Swing and a miss there, strike one. Atkins just 13 years old. The shortstop here this afternoon, or this morning, for Team Prince Edward Island. Takes a strike, or ends up having the base. Yeah, having the bat come all the way around as she tried to avoid that inside pitch, and it ends up getting called a swinging strike. That one comes in the dirt. The count now goes to 1-2.
I thought she got hit.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count here on Atkins. And the count again 1-2. That one comes in just missing outside, and the count goes to 2-2. Again, a quick update what's going on at the other field. Newfoundland Labrador leading New Brunswick 6-4. The winner of that game will advance to 2-0 and will certainly be favored to win this pool. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th K of the morning for Stevens. And again, the winner of this pool will advance into quarterfinal play. The other 3 teams will go to the 7th to 12 play, or 7th through 12 placement games. Now the current pitcher, Claire Keogh, coming up for Prince Edward Island. Keogh in the game yesterday went 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice, also walked once. And Keogh, there we go, Keogh from Cape Traverse, Prince Edward Island. Takes on the outside corner. And the count, I believe, now 0-2, I think. As Tamika Stevens doing a great job on the mound here. Swing and a miss. And now the count goes to 1-2. So it was a 1-1 pitch there. 1-2 now the count. Stevens, that sort of 3/4 delivery. Certainly working for her today. She's got 4 strikeouts so far. Keogh gets underneath that one. Coming in to make the catch is Syllaboy. And that will do it for the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base through 2 complete. It's 13-1 in favor of Team Nova Scotia Blue.
No hits, no errors. Pitch count, guys. Thank you.
There we go as we head into the top of the
Bottom of
third.
the second total is no runs on no hits, no errors, no runners left on. Pitch count total is 36.
And due up in the top of the third for Nova Scotia, it will be Fenway Ryder, Avery Smith, and Lanissa Syllaboy. Running you through the rest of the schedule for today, the 12 o'clock game over on the Robert Lenahan Field will feature Ontario and Manitoba. And we'll give you the rest of that schedule after we go through some changes here.
Shifting to third.
Okay, say that again, hey?
These women all on the prowl. If you hold the head steady, I'ma milk the cow. And forget about game, I'ma spit the truth. I won't stop till I get them in their work.
Number 11 for Team Nova Scotia, Fenway Ryder.
Two came out. How come 2 go to 6? But 2 came out. We'll have to see when they... All right, so some changes for Nova Scotia. We'll have to deal with those defensively when they come up, but we're right now in the top of the third. It's Fenway Ryder up to bat. She's walked twice, came around to score once.
Down below. Thank you.
Aaliyah Strong, is it?
Aaliyah Strong, yeah.
And the count now 2-1 here on Ryder.
It's Aaliyah, right?
Yeah, Aaliyah.
And there's a strike count now 2-2 here on Ryder. First batter of the top of the third inning for Team Nova Scotia. New Brunswick getting a run in the top of the fifth. They're now down just 6-5. Grounder down to third. Gathered up by the third baseman. Good throw across. And a nice... Oh, no, not making the catch. I thought we had a good snag there by the first baseman, Nicholson, but the ball scoots out of her glove. And so Ryder
Number
will
9,
reach.
Avery Smith.
That'll bring up Avery Smith. She's walked twice and come around to score once.
That's what I thought. That's what I got here too. 10 came to 2. I know that.
So now Smith coming up here in the third inning. She's walked twice. And Smith gets a hold of that one. It'll get over the head of the left fielder. Fenway Rider all the way around to third. Smith in with the stand-up double. That'll bring up Lauren Sampson hitting for Lanissa Sillaboy.
Number 13, Lauren Sampson.
Sampson didn't play in yesterday's game. Sampson from Sackville. And I'll see if I can get the clarifications on those moves here in just a moment. But right now, Sampson making her first at bat of the game.
Changes to watch the number coming up to it before I announce it. I got the first one 2 for 10, but we've got too many players somewhere.
So a double for Smith. Puts runners on second and third with nobody out here. Nova Scotia up by 12. That one catches the outside corner. And I believe we're at 1-1.
One pitch for
Try and see what we can figure out here. There's another strike. So now my video is getting blocked in some areas because of the copyright issues with the music that I have nothing to do with. Even though I came out and specifically said in the broadcast, I am not playing the music. It is background noise, for lack of a better word, ambient sound here in the facility. I cannot be held responsible for that. Thank you, Facebook. There's a walk to load the bases. And that'll bring up Chrissy Hagan.
Coming to the plate for Team Nova Scotia, number 4, Chrissy Hagan.
Hagan walked or struck out in the first, walked in the second, and came around to score. So hopefully those of you who are trying to watch this game can still watch this game. If somebody can give me an indication that you're still on. I know I can still see what's happening.
Keep it low. Should we just kill the music? I don't know.
I'm not blaming you guys. I want
No,
that.
I understand that.
I
I'm
won't.
trying to let you
Yeah.
get feedback.
Yeah. I'm upset with the Facebook people who, even though I specifically am saying in this broadcast, I am not playing any music. It is music that is part of the sound at the field. Do I have anybody still actually watching? Is there anyone watching this game right now? Please give me some sort of a sign that says, yes, you are here. There's a walk. That'll bring in another run. And it's now 14-1.
Number 16, Tamika Stevens.
Can anybody, if there's anybody watching, please give me an indication that you are watching. Please, 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 someone let me know that you are watching.
What? So you need to decide if you want to go with him or not. No, you and I have
Yeah,
to
I made that mistake yesterday, not today.
The flights are like $600 one way. I just looked. So if you want to go with, go if he wants you.
We have an issue with the music. He can explain it to you. It's been cut off because they're hearing the music we're playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah.
we could. We'll just have to maybe next game.
So Sony is blocking because of copyright
Okay,
issues
well,
over the fact that.
music for, I'd rather have
Yeah.
make sure that's there, and Gordon can just talk longer.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm even on right now, to be honest. Trying to find out for sure if people are still watching or not. Huh?
What Facebook?
Petter PC Sports.
Petter?
Yeah, Petter. Yeah, Facebook.com/Petter PC Sports. Grounder down to first. For an out, it will drive in a run. And that makes it 15-1.
Number 3, L. McFadgen.
Your video is blocked in.
Who's that?
Mario's dad. So he flew up 3 weeks ago. He drove up from
Yeah, he
back.
told me.
And then he's got his old Lakers called. So,
Okay.
he's gonna.
Am
He's
I?
on right to field to now leave. So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Number 10, Aaliyah Strong.
Top of 3. I thought it was 10 after 5. 4 innings, you mean? Yeah. Okay. These guys know that, is it? I have no idea. Well, we're at 16 now. I understand that, we're still 16.
There was a non-pitch.
People playing the music are doing so without my
Yeah, it is.
in any way, shape, or form.
It's too bad.
Any shape or form. It is part of the ambient sound of the field.
And when the weather was that, I know she was saying, get the hell over it. Like, just don't worry about it.
I'm going to submit this dispute because
Number 1, Aaliyah Copeland.
Last weekend, she was a little cold.
So I wonder if they knew him that
They're still going to hear it. This is Mike's in the direction.
so separating the two won't help.
no.
Talk?
Because we have to separate everybody here. Like, I have to be next to him. That's,
Yeah, I'd have to be.
you got to be down the street somewhere.
Yeah.
We could stay here. He's got to hear it. They're still going to hear it. They're going to hear it.
There's a strike.
We're just going to do Fenway Park.
I just put a comment on there. I don't know if you can see it.
Just hang on. Are you seeing the stream on my page? It is coming through? Okay. So maybe we're not kicked off just yet.
Well, we still won't play music, right? We're gonna have
Okay.
it on the screen.
We're just unavailable in 254 countries around the world right now. Canada, maybe not one of them. Apparently not one of them.
He's still talking.
It talks all through it. You can ask them to do that. Sure.
Yeah, I got sound.
Yeah, you've got sound? Okay. What happened with Strong while I've been trying to deal with all of this? There's a shot over the center fielder. Okay, Strong is now Safe at second. Okay, I see Strong is at second. Copeland is at first with the single, the RBI.
Number 7, Haley Strong.
So Aaliyah Strong is at second. Copeland's at first.
Nobody at second.
Oh, she was called out at second. Okay. So fielder's choice instead of a single. So McFadden is at third. And Hagen came in to score, and so the score right now is 16 to 1, or 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17 to 1, is that correct? Okay, thank you. Sorry folks, I dealing with a few different issues between the technical issues and the legal issues and everything else, trying to get everything straightened away here. But I think we got it all good now. Haley Strong is at the bat. She's walked twice, singled and drove in a couple of runs, come around to score twice, and heading down to second base there is Copeland, and the count is 2-2 on Strong through all of this. And I think we're still good. Okay, fingers crossed that it stays that way. And I will once again reiterate the disclaimer that if any music does get played, okay, the count is actually 3-1. 2 are out in the innings. That was what the indication was. Oh, there's the first out. There's the second out. So again, reiterating the disclaimer. Yeah, and there's a strike, and the count goes to 3-2. So again, reiterating the disclaimer. Any music that you hear on this broadcast is part of the ambient noise, the ambient sound at Joan Lenahan Field. I am not responsible, nor is Facebook responsible, nor is Petter Picto Sports as an organization responsible for any music that you may hear throughout the course of this broadcast. It is ambient sound within the field. That'll bring up Riley Johnston
Number
with
14,
2 away.
Riley Johnston.
Johnston singled, drove in a run, and came around to score herself. Popped out on an infield fly and struck out, so 1 for 3 so far in this morning's game. Takes high and inside, ball 1. The score now 17-1 in favor of Nova Scotia Blue here in the top of the third inning. And here comes the pitch. That comes in a bit low. Ball 2, 2-0.
So they can play over there because I'm down a line as opposed to you. Is that correct?
He's being streamed through Facebook.
Yes, because I'm being streamed through Facebook.
That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so music works over there but doesn't work over here.
So we can't take your signal and put it through down the line here?
I don't believe so. I believe they can just do the one stream from this location at a time. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. And there's a strike. And the count goes 3-2. Or 3-1 rather. So yes, Nova Scotia Blue leading at 17-1 here in the top of the third. That one comes in outside, ball 4. That'll make it 18-1. As the walk and the RBI for Johnston, which will bring us back to Fenway Ryder.
Number 11, Fenway Ryder.
Ryder reached on an error earlier this inning, came around to score. Also walked twice, came around to score one of those other times as well. And fouls the first pitch back. And just missing a person over there. And for Nova Scotia at this point, they're 3 runs away from getting that 20-run lead. And if they can get a 20-run lead and then hold Prince Edward Island without runs in the bottom of the third, they can end it in this inning. And in this era of pitch counts and all of those factors, obviously, anytime you can throw fewer innings, you're going to give yourself an advantage later on in the tournament. So Nova Scotia really can't take their foot off the gas just yet. There's a
nice block catch.
Block by the catcher, Hannah LeClaire.
Yeah, they gave me a
Meanwhile, in the game over on Robert Lenihan, we'll let you know that New Brunswick now leads that one 7-6. They're into the bottom of the 5th inning, so New Brunswick coming back and taking the lead there. Grounder down to third base, and over to touch the bag is the third baseman, Selena Ford. So an unassisted put out there will wrap it up for the top of the third, but Nova Scotia does put another 5 up on the board.
Okay, boys and girls, what is it?
5 runs on, I believe, 3 hits. Just waiting for official confirmation.
2 hits.
5 runs on 2 hits. And 2 errors and 3 runners left on base. So through 2.5, it is Nova Scotia 18, Prince Edward Island 1. Due up in the bottom of the third, it'll be Michaela Taylor. Then back around to the top of the order for Hannah LeClaire and Maria Crowley.
Top of the third results, 5 runs in on 2 hits, 2 errors. The pitch count stands a total of 69.
So bringing you back to the rest of the schedule for today. At noon on Robert Lenihan, it will be Ontario against Manitoba. 12:30 here on Joan Lenihan, we will have Quebec 1 and Alberta. Those are both Pool A games. The Ontario-Manitoba game, an elimination game of sorts, as the winner will finish 3rd in the pool and will advance to the quarterfinals, and the team that loses that game will finish 0-3 in the pool and go to the 7-12 placement games. Then Quebec and Alberta, the game we'll have here at 12:30 will be for first place in Pool A. Both teams have already clinched spots in the semifinals. It's just a matter of determining what the matchups are going to be. So, and then at the 3 o'clock games, we'll bring these Pool C teams back out to the field. 3 o'clock, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick will play over on Robert Lenihan, and at 3:30 we'll have Prince Edward Island back here again for another game against Newfoundland Labrador. Then the 6 o'clock games tonight, 6 and 6:30, Pool B. And at 6 p.m., the Pool B game on Robert Lenihan will feature Nova Scotia and Quebec. And the 6:30 game that we'll have here will feature Saskatchewan and Prince Edward, or Saskatchewan NBC rather. Leading off the bottom of the third, it is Michaela Taylor. Taylor so far this weekend 0 for 2 in 2 plate appearances in the game yesterday. Taylor hailing from where is she here? Michaela Taylor hailing from St. Peter's Bay, Prince Edward Island. Count 0-2 on her quickly here, as getting ahead in the count is Stevens, still out there on the mound. Taking a quick look around here for Nova Scotia defensively, Avery Smith now playing third. Lauren Sampson playing second. Leah Copeland had moved from second to short. And I think I've now got every position taken care of. Aaliyah Strong is out in left field. Elle McFadgen is in center. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3, striking out Michaela Taylor. That'll bring us back to the top of the order for Hannah LeClaire. She led off the game with a double.
Number 23.
And came around to score back to the bottom of the first. So the outfield for Nova Scotia again is Strong in left, McFadgen in center, and Hagen still in right. The infield from third to first, Avery Smith at third, Leah Copeland at short, Lauren Sampson at second, and Strong at first. Riley Johnston still behind the plate. That's Haley Strong at first. And still on the mound here is Tamika Stevens. That one fouled off, and the count goes 0-1 here on LeClaire. Here in the bottom of the third inning. And I think we're actually up to date on everything. There we go. Pulls that one foul into the bullpen area, and the count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes here on Hannah LeClaire. LeClaire from Kensington gets a hold of that one right over to second base. Nice grab there by Sampson, over to first in time for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the center fielder for Prince Edward Island, the starting pitcher who moved to center, Mariah Crowley.
31, Mariah Crowley.
Crowley struck out or lined out to the pitcher back in the first inning. 0 for 1 on this game now. So, first pitch taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. That one comes in a bit low, and the count goes to 2-0 here on Crowley here in the bottom of the third inning. Teams playing this early morning game here. There's a swing and a miss, and it goes 2-1. 2 balls and a strike.
Sorry, what, the batter?
That's the one I want, right? Yes. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2-2 now the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I'd like to thank everybody who has stayed with us through this broadcast. I appreciate your patience through some of the issues that we've been dealing with. That one's fouled back. And ends up coming down not too far from our broadcast position right here behind home plate. Didn't hit anybody, fortunately, and the count will stay 2-2 with 2 away. That one popped into shallow left field, and it will drop in for a hit. So Crowley will reach base, extending the bottom of the third inning. That'll bring up Leah Sauvert. She's 0 for 1. Sauvert struck
Number
out back in
27,
the first
Leah
inning.
Sauvert.
Sauvert with that strikeout, as mentioned, here back in the top of the first. Sauvert, one of the Nova Scotia-based players for Team PEI. Takes on the inside corner. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike on Sauvert. That one misses outside, and heading down to second base, coming in with the steal is Crowley. Count goes 1-1 now on Sauvert. And they're into the 6th inning now over at Robert Lenahan. New Brunswick leading at 7-6. That one's fouled off third base side, out onto the road here at this wonderful facility in Bedford. An absolutely beautiful, beautiful spot here for baseball. And it couldn't ask for a much better day or bright blue sky. A balk being called as again the umpire's coming in to explain that the pitcher has to get completely set and pause before the pitch delivery, so no pitch there. It is a balk. Grounder down to first. That should do it for this inning. And Strong comes over, touches the bag herself. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base through 3 complete. It is now 18-1, or it is still 18-1 in favor of Prince Edward, or of Nova Scotia Team 2, or Nova Scotia Blue, over Prince Edward Island, due up in the top of the 4th
Stats
inning.
at the bottom of the 3rd inning, no runs on
It
1
will
hit,
be
no errors.
Smith,
Pitch count total is
Sampson,
54.
and Hagen. Again, Smith, Sampson, and Hagen due up here in the top of the 4th. As coming back out to continue to pitch, I believe, is going to be Claire Keogh. As we take a quick look around at the defense, just to make sure that it's still set as it has been. Smith heading out to right field.
That's great. Got it. Just north in the same position. Nope, that's fine. In left field, yeah. 32 for 57.
32 for 57. So, quick change for Prince Edward Island. Emily Albert will come in to play left field.
That's all? Oh, come on. Come on. You know what Charlie did?
So,
So much like.
so what was that switch for Nova Scotia?
So Nova Scotia,
So Ryder? Is he?
Ryder, who's the EH,
Yeah.
is going to third.
Okay.
Third base is just going into EH.
Okay, so just a straight swap there. Okay, that's easy enough.
Yeah, it's just
And,
positional.
and PEI's Albert comes in for Taylor playing left field.
32 for 57.
Thank you. All right, so a couple of changes, one for each team. Emily Albert coming into the game to play left field for Prince Edward Island, taking the spot of Michaela Taylor in the lineup. No other defensive changes for PEI. Their formation stays the same with Ford at third, Atkins at short, Sauvere at second, Nicholson at
Leading
first.
off for Team Nova Scotia,
LeClaire
number
behind the
9,
plate.
Avery
Keogh
Smith.
still on the mound. Smith in right, Crowley in center. Albert, as mentioned, now playing left. And the extra hitter remains Mullen. And now on the bench is Taylor. And we'll run you through the change for Nova Scotia in just a moment. But the first pitch to Smith comes in inside, ball one. And actually, Smith, it's a pretty straightforward swap. Avery Smith was playing third base. She becomes the extra hitter. In the bottom of the fourth, Fenway Ryder, who was the extra hitter, will come in and play third base. So just a straight swap there for Nova Scotia. So that's where we stand here in the top of the fourth inning. The pitch from Keogh comes in well high. And we're up to 3-0 here, the count. Nova Scotia right now leading it by 17. If this score holds through to the end of the fourth inning, that will be the end of the game. The way the run rule works, a lead by 20 after 3, 15 after 4, 10 after 5 or 6 will end a game early. And then, of course, games are regulation 7 innings. So Nova Scotia doesn't need to put any more runs on the scoreboard as long as they can hold Prince Edward Island to no runs in the bottom of this inning. Leadoff
Number
walker
13,
Smith.
Lauren Sampson.
That'll bring up Lauren Sampson. She walked and came around to score her first time up. That was back in the third inning. Sampson, the second baseman for Nova Scotia. But Nova Scotia still running. First pitch to Sampson, and Smith will head down to second base. I guess they want to provide themselves with a little bit of an extra cushion to make sure that they can end this game here in the fourth inning. As now they have a runner on second with nobody out. That one comes bouncing in as well, and the count goes 2-0 here on Sampson. Keogh had been pitching since coming in with 2 out in the second. She pitched all of the third and is now pitching here in the fourth. That one comes in outside, and the count goes 3-0.
It's one of those situations when they had a hot run
3 balls, no strikes on Sampson. That one bounces in, ball 4. And back-to-back walks put on the first 2 runners. That'll bring up Chrissy Hagen. Hagen struck out in the first, walked and scored in the second, and walked and scored in the third. But we have a quick meeting at the mound here. Team Prince Edward Island still having high spirits, I see, is joking around a little bit with their coach during this meeting at the mound.
So that's just a swift position swap. Thank you.
So just EH for 4.
So it's 37.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be running on this.
So 37 and 27 just swapping spots, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Was I telling you yesterday about my time for winter there a couple years ago?
So just a quick defensive swap here for Prince Edward Island after this meeting on the mound. Ava Mullen, who
And for
was
Nova
the
Scotia,
EH,
number 4, Chrissy Hagen.
will come in and play second base, and Sauvere, who was playing second base, comes out to be the EH. I'm guessing that so that she can go and warm up to possibly take over some pitching duties here.
And I went,
Just a guess.
no, you're not. You're going to take the bat. You're going to let him hit, or you're going to let me hit, and I get on and I run the bases. We're up by 10. You don't send that message. It's discipline. So you got to pitch one.
And here's
And I beat my mouth off.
A grounder down to short, gathered up at the short base position, shortstop position, and over to third to get the lead runner. Fielder's choice. Nice little play there by the shortstop Atkins to get that ball over to third to Ford, who
Number
made
16, Tamika Stevens.
first out of the inning. So runners still at first and second, but now there's one out. That'll bring up Stevens. She's walked twice and grounded to first, which drove in a run. Both times she walked, she came around to score. So 2 walks, 2 runs, 0 for 1 with an RBI at the plate so far this morning. Comes up with 2 on and 1 out here in the fourth. Takes inside, and the count goes 2-0. Nova Scotia again leading by 17. If this score holds through the bottom of the fourth, that will be the end of the game. Grounder to first, or grounder back to the pitcher. Keogh looks over to third, realizes she doesn't have time to get the out there, gets the sure out at first.
Number
So runners
3,
advance to
Elle
second and third.
McFadgen.
And that will bring up Elle McFadgen. She singled and scored, singled and drove in a run and scored, and walked and scored. So 2 for 2 with a walk, 3 runs scored, and an RBI for McFadgen. A productive day, to say the least, for the young left-hander who is playing center field right now from Hammonds Plains, just a little ways down the road. Here within the HRM, runners on second and third with 2 away here in the top of the fourth. That one comes in behind McFadgen, and the count goes 1-0.
And she does this. Right in the chin. Puts it right on the ground, right? So I said to the up, I think it was Blake. Was it Blake? I thought it was Blake or somebody.
1 ball, no strikes, the count here on McFadgen, as we have a balk called. And again, the umpire, one thing I love about these umpires, when they call a balk, they come up and talk to the pitcher to explain why it's a balk and use it as a teaching moment, because when you've got young players like this, they will learn as it gets explained to them. Another run comes in, and that makes it 19-1. So scoring on that balk was Sampson. Advancing over to third is Hagen. And now a grounder down to the third baseman. Good strong throw across from Ford in time for the third out. But Nova Scotia does get another one. 1 run on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. And after 3.5, Nova Scotia now leads it 19-1.
Top of the fourth stats, 1 run in, no hits, no errors. Pitch count total is 85.
And so due up in the bottom of the fourth inning, it'll be Ford, Nicholson, and Mullen. And if anybody gets on base, Smith. And in order to keep this game going into a 5th inning, PEI will need to score at least 4 runs, because they need to pull the margin to within 14 or fewer, which means it has to be at least 19-5 or better from a Prince Edward Island perspective to have this game go to a 5th inning. In the meantime, we'll let you know in the bottom of the 6th, Newfoundland has taken the lead once again. That game going back and forth over at Robert Lenahan Field. If you want to check out what's going on there, it is available on Bell Alliant TV1. Newfoundland and Labrador now leading New Brunswick 8-7. And again, the winner of that game will be 2-0 and will have a very good chance to win the pool. And depending on, I'd have to look at the tiebreaker scenarios and whatnot, and they might even, depending on the tiebreaker scenarios, clinch top spot in the pool based on these results this morning, but they will have a chance to definitely clinch the spot in the quarterfinals this afternoon.
Selena Ford.
That'll bring up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Selena Ford will lead it off. She singled and drove in the only run for PEI so far this morning. That was back in the 1st inning. Gets a hold of that one, but pulls it foul. Good solid swing there by Ford, but just a little bit ahead of the pitch and pulling it foul for an 0-1 count. Ford, a good solid right-handed hitter, pops that one up, or bounces that one high in the air, comes down to Stevens, and Stevens with the quick throw over to first in time. And that is one away here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up Ella Nicholson. She walked, I believe. Yeah, she walked to reach first. Back in the first. So coming up here. Pops that one high in the air. Getting underneath it is the shortstop. Making the catch, Leah Copeland. And 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the fourth, and Prince Edward Island down to their last opportunities, and it's in the form of Ava Mullen. She struck out back in the first, comes up here with 2 away in the fourth inning, and PEI needs 4 runs on a 2-out rally if they want to extend this game. Sends that one foul down the third base line, count goes 0-1. Tamika Stevens, 1 out away from pitching a complete game. Of course, now I've gone and said something. I don't believe in the broadcaster curse. The only reason it's called a broadcaster curse is because people notice it when it happens, but it doesn't happen every time. And there's Mullen getting down to first base in time, as after a nice play by Copeland, she has a little bit of trouble with that one. That'll bring up Jessica Smith. She's 0 for 1 on the day after striking
Number
out.
21, Jessica Smith.
See, nobody notices if the broadcaster says shutout and then the shutout holds. There's no shutout in this game, so I can use that as an example. Nobody notices if a broadcaster says no-hitter and then a no-hitter holds. That, you know, the no-hitter was broken in the first inning. That one's going to drop in, but we might have the out at We do have the out at second base as a bit of a base running blunder by Mullen. And that will do it for the game.
Blue. It's over. Okay.
So that will do it for the ball
Ladies and
game.
gentlemen, that concludes this game.
No runs in the bottom
Nova
of the
Scotia
fourth inning.
victorious over Team Prince Edward Island. We'd ask the players to line up on their
No
respective
runs, no hits,
baselines.
1 error, and
After
1 runner
handshakes,
left
please
on
go back
base.
to your baselines.
So the
And
final
will the
score
coaches
once
please
again,
come with their player of the game
19-1 in favor
nominations,
of
please.
Nova Scotia Blue. We'll stick around for the presentation of the players of the game, and then we'll cut off the stream. We'll come back in a little bit for the next game. The scheduled start time for our next game here on this field is 12:30. So we'll start the stream up around 20 after 12 or 25 after 12, somewhere in there. A few minutes ahead of the start of that game. And again, that's going to be Quebec and Alberta. The final score here, 19-1. Quick update on the other game. They're still in the bottom of the sixth. Newfoundland Labrador putting up a couple of insurance runs. They're now up 10-7. And we're going to have the presentation of the players of the game here momentarily, once we find who's responsible for doing that presentation.
Oh, sorry. What's that called?
And
About coach?
and on the player. And on the player, 23. 2-3, right? Like a word. 23.
And
No, we're not picking her. Sorry, 16?
16 Tamika.
yeah. And we've got the presentation of the player of the game for
After
each
the
team.
presentation of the players of the game, we'd ask both teams to please en masse go over to the bullpen area. We have a pitcher opportunity for the complete team pitchers. Okay, so after the
So,
presentation.
Presentation of the players of the
Okay,
game.
for Team Nova Scotia.
Start with the visiting
Player of
team.
the
That was
game,
Team Nova
number
Scotia.
16, Tamika Stevens.
Hard to argue against this choice. A complete game. 1-run performance on the mound for Tamika Stevens.
And
She
for
gave up
Team
just
Prince Edward
3
Island,
hits over those 4
number
innings.
23, Hannah
Striking out
LeClaire.
5. And Hannah LeClaire, named player of the game for
Ladies and
Prince Edward
gentlemen, a
Island.
round of
She
applause
had
for
a
both
double,
teams.
scored the only run of the game for
And
PEI.
you guys go over to the bullpen area
And that will
afterwards
do
and
it
for your
for this
pictures.
game.
Thanks so
Nova
much.
Scotia improves
Next
to
game
1-0 or
at
1-1.
this field is at 12:30.
PEI
It'll
drops
be
to
Quebec 1
0-2.
against Alberta.
And the final score once again, Nova Scotia Blue, Nova Scotia 2, 19, Prince Edward Island 1. Until about an hour from now when we get you ready for the next game, this is Michael Petter saying, may your pitches hit the corners, may your liners hit the gaps. Final score one last time, Nova Scotia over Prince Edward Island 19-1. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with you again in about an hour.